look through every 20 you've seen and like made it like a census chart and like
Oh, so they did what I did. That took a really long time, like Cinnamon Sins style, long time of looking through and nitpicking.
but anyway, about the math and Pegasi, could you have like a weighted visual color of the trend and such?
What?
Do you have like a weighted visual color?
Scroll back. There you go.
There's the hard mathematics of how long each commander was in charge. We had 12 years for how long it takes to mature from the time they start school, plus another 6 years before they start school, and 5 years for retirement. So we know, I'll go over this again. So we have 1,000 years for the time that Luna was imprisoned and when the Winter Bolts were founded at the same time, led by 11 commanders. That's 90.9. We know a third of the lifespan of Firefly was all he was in charge for because he was in his twilight of his age. And Spitfire gets around 10 because she's, quote, recent. Using that, 1,000 minus 90.9 times 1/3 plus 90.9 minus 10, all divided by the 9 remaining commanders, means each one was actually in charge for a total of 98.76 years. Add 12 and 6, we come down to and add 5 more for retirement, and we get 121.76 as the total number of years a Pegasi lives.
How would you say the different ages of these races kind of play into the social strata of Equestria? Because it seems to me, if you have a race that lives to be like 200, 400, 500 years old, they're going to have the possibility of being a lot better social climbers than, say, someone who can only live to be 48.
Yes and no. Here's why. Because they're, as I explained, because they live longer, they tend to take things slower. They tend to also learn slower and adapt slower because they're set in their ways. Kind of like if a person does the same thing every day for 10 years, they're going to get used to it, then a new machine comes along and they suddenly feel outdated. This is what's happening. They're getting used to it and getting set in patterns, and it takes them longer to do stuff now and longer to adapt to new situations. That's why Rarity has had the same situation 10 times.
So Slim and Flam would be the odd ones out because they're the ones wanting to advance.
Yes, they are.
It's worth noting that from what I remember, the majority of the rich ponies we see are unicorns.
Yes, exactly. They've been around for so long. They can afford to be rich.
I found an old unicorn.
Oh my god, you did what?
I found an old unicorn.
Where?
In Magic Duel, Trixie uses an age spell and turns Snails into a very old man.
That's not a unicorn to get old though.
That was more of a...
That's a sudden change that she even says is impossible.
I found some old Pegasi as well. I was looking through a list of just Pegasi in general.
Like their Wonderbolt commanders already went over those. Otherwise,
I think it was just like a one-off background one.
I got a question here.
Well, I don't... There's something a bit more horrific that you didn't go over is the Pound Cake twins. One of them is a Pegasus and one of them is a unicorn, so... Yeah, one of them's going to outlive the other by many years.
one of them's going to outlive the other. So first off, they're going to have to bury their parents before they're even into the first third of their lives. The Pegasi is going to be about halfway through hers when that happens. And then the unicorn is going to have to bury the sibling long before she's even looking to get old.
Yeah, so I just wondered, given that the unicorns are slowing legal this theory, how does that affect their parent? Because we see generally unicorns living in Canterlot, and they appear to be like noble strata for the most part. How does your aging theory affect that sort of social climbing, lack of social climbing? Are they just sort of born into this whole...
Well, you see Rarity. Rarity keeps wanting to go to Canterlot. She finally gets there and she's like, I don't like this. Because she's used to Bunny Girl. But the fact of the matter is, they all have this idea that they need to socially climb there. So the successful unicorns that have been around for a really long time are the ones we actually see in Canterlot.
Ah, okay.
And if you start thinking about it from this perspective, Earth ponies are humans, Pegasi are the dwarves, and unicorns are elves. That's kind of how the society actually starts looking. If you look at it from a Tolkien standpoint, that's kind of how the society ends up being structured. Is the Earth ponies are doing a lot of the go, 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 dynamic change. We need to adapt. We need to move. We need
So
to do it.
by that logic, is it perhaps that these unicorns, they eventually gain their social positions simply by a combination of hard work and maybe outliving everybody else? So a Earth pony might go from rags to riches in one generation, but that generation is going to be much smaller than for a unicorn who might take several generations to raise their family up to a noble level, but once they do,
They're stuck there
they're
forever.
there forever.
It's a very, very telltale reflection on our own society where we have people who are born with silver spoons in their mouths who never know anything other than that.
Any other questions? Right here.
My entire theory around Celestia and Luna and their parents, I'm pretty sure their parents have passed away, but because they are a magical element that is attached to the world itself, they no longer age. But their parents passed away before that even occurred. And I actually go over part of that in the magic panel tomorrow. And I think that's at noon. Yeah, it's at noon tomorrow. And then part of that magic panel, by the way, I hate to break this to you, they put me 9 a.m. on Sunday for the other part of that where I explain Pinkie Pie because Pinkie Pie has her own level and dimension of magic that I couldn't explain otherwise. Yes, we're back in the back. I don't know. I don't have enough information. They are definitely different. I don't, however, understand how they are different or what that category would make them fall under.
So let me back up a second. If I remember correctly, I think you said that they age differently. Well,
They mature at the same rate.
right, they mature at the same rate, but they have a different length of time for their
Yes.
life. So that makes me think it's weird because if they're all say age 12 and they all get their cutie marks about that point, I wonder what that does to the social dynamics, the mental structures and stuff. They all grow up at the same rate, and then at some point they realize, oh, I'm going to be around here multiple generations before the unicorn's going to say, I'm going to be here for multiple generations before my Earth Pony friends. But they're all maturing at the same rate at the beginning, and at some point it's going to change for their. I'm not sure where I think this.
The social dynamic changes drastically as they get older because
Yeah.
they're making friends more with their own type of pony because they know that type of pony will be a friend longer
Yeah.
and may be more useful in their certain career field. Whereas with Earth ponies, they don't really care because they're more focused on, I want somebody that's going to make the short time I have wonderful.
And, when you were talking about that actually made me think about the Crusaders, is when you look at the Crusaders who tend to be more relaxed and more okay with their situation, it's Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle don't seem to be the ones pushing really hard to get their key. It's Apple.
And as I showed, Apple Bloom has twice as many episodes where she's the lead protagonist as Scootaloo. Scootaloo only has, and then Sweetie Belle only has one episode where she's the lead protagonist with all three Crusaders. And I went, wait a minute, something ain't right here. So is that everything, guys?
I think so.
All right, I have no idea what time it is.
It's
I have fire escape.
Oh, okay, the next panel is going to want to set up. I have cards up here for you guys if you want them. I will be in the vendor's hall at table 48 for BabsCon if you want to come ask me more questions. I'm perfectly open to those. And my next panel is at 1 a.m. in the room across the hall. So you have to be 21 to get in that one. And then tomorrow I'm doing the science of magic in Equestria at noon in, I believe, that room over there. I will hopefully get flyers up before that, though. So I will hopefully see all of you there, and hopefully I made you interested. Again, also, if you have questions that you don't want to ask in public for some reason or another, I always make it available. You can come up and get one of my cards, and there's a YouTube address. You can send me a message, or you can get my email or PO box if you want to send a handwritten letter. I don't know why but you would want to do that, but I know one person who did. You can send those to me, and I will answer them as soon as I can. So thanks, guys, and I hope you all enjoyed.